I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, and the home of the brave? And we're singing, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Faith facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you. You may be seated and get something to eat.
Thank you for being here. What an honor to be able to be with you, even early in the morning in the rain and the cold. I don't know about you, but I was rolling over this morning and I really wanted to hit that snooze button. And I knew I could pick up my phone and text Joy Bowen and say, hey, will you just give remarks for me because I'm going back to bed? And I thought, of all the people, Martin Luther King would not go back to sleep. He probably didn't sleep at all. So you better get up. And you better brave the elements and do what you need to do. And so the thought that came to me as I was wrestling with my desire to just lie back down was one of my favorite verses in Galatians 6:9. It says, "Let us not become weary in doing good. For at the proper time we will reap the harvest if we do not give up." And as I circulated among you this morning and spoke to some of the dreamers and the doers, the students who are here and being honored and recognized, like Dr. Martin Luther King, the legacy that he left and that they aspire to achieve on their own, I was reminded of, actually it's a quote, it's on my Facebook page, it's actually been there for a few months, so go back and look in history. It's a post that says, and this is my message to the students here today who are already doing great things, surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness in you, even when you don't see it in yourself. Because as great as you're doing right now, and you're going to continue to do beautiful things, there are going to be times when it's hard. There are going to be times when you feel like you fall and you can't get back up, but you can, and you will. And then there'll be some setbacks along the way that you have to push through. But in those times, remember this final quote, and I love quotes, obviously, I keep them all around me. It says, "Don't let success go to your head, but don't ever let failure go to your heart." Keep dreaming, keep doing, live the legacy that Martin Luther King left, and keep doing the things you're doing now. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks to all that came out in the rain to be with us.
Welcome. I want to take this opportunity to bring you some great news from the Leon County school system. A couple of things. Number one is I think our partnership with the NAACP on this breakfast is going on close to 30 years or a long, long time. And I think it's really, really important. I think it sends a great message to our students. But also bring you good news because the state of Florida just released its graduation rates for the entire state. And the state average was 78%, and Leon County is close to 88%, about 87 points. So we're about a big above state average. But The real excitement in the numbers is that over the past 5 years, we've improved our African American graduation rates by 25 points, and they now equal the state average, the #1 majority minority school district in the entire state of Florida, Leon County, and we're proud of that. We have so many students and different leaders in our schools that are here today that represent what Dr. King's dream was all about. They're the ones that get up every day and do what they need to do to help our system be successful. So I'm going to take a minute of personal privilege. I'm going to ask all of the students that are being honored today with their parents and their administrators, please stand so we can recognize your success all across here. Please stand. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you. Students, I'm going to take privilege and speak for our community. We're very proud of each and every one of you, and please continue on this road for success. Dale Landry of the NAACP, I thank you for your leadership in our community. Steve Beasley of the MLK Foundation, thank you for your leadership. And I want to make a commitment to you that not only do we have the best teachers in the state of Florida working in our system, we have the best students. And we're going to continue every day to try to make sure that we do everything possible for our students to be successful. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for our partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on the program, who will bring the welcome and the occasion is Carlton DeSalvo from the Student School Board member of Leon County. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carlton DeSalvo. I'm a senior at Leon High School and am the Leon County School Board student representative. I think I speak on behalf of all the students here and quite possibly our first responders that a buffet-style breakfast was the correct choice. I believe it is only fitting on Martin Luther King weekend that I share with you one of Dr. King's most famous messages from the speech, I Have a Dream. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. It was with this message that Dr. King built a legacy that I see reflected in the students learning in our schools every day. He taught us about peace, forgiveness, and showed us how to love those who had been unjust in a time when hatred was rampant. This courage is what has defined our recent history, and I challenge you all to continue upholding the courage that Dr. King displayed in all of your endeavors. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much. Next on the program is a musical selection by Destiny and Omega Forbes.
Yeah, ooh, wake up and smile. It's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I stopped, so you can hold me. Dish out away, strong in the face. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to. 'Cause I won't let day go, won't let day go by. Put the drop top down, turn it up, I'm ready to fly. Ooh, there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so true, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong. I'm about to get my worship on, take me away. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful day. When trouble seems rain on my dreams, it's not a big deal. Let it wash all the bugs off my windshield. You're showing me, and you are free. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to. 'Cause I won't let day go, won't let day go by. Put the drop top down, turn it up, I'm ready to fly. Ooh, There's something about the way the sun shines on my face. It's a love so true, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong. I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful day. I got no need to worry. I got no need for doubt. Now what's coming at me? You'll all be beautiful, sing about. Ain't no limitations. Your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong. I'm about to get my worship on. Gonna sing a brand new song. Yeah, I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Such a beautiful day.
All right, let's give them another round of applause. It's a beautiful day. Because of them, they've really put the stamp on today's day. Thank you. That was Destiny and Omega Forbes II. And next, our recognition of special guests will come from Dale Landry, who is the president of the Tallahassee chapter of the NAACP.
Dr. Moran, thank you. Now, I'm gonna claim something here quick, right front for everybody. I'm 60 years old. I got a right to have a lapse of memory. So if I don't recognize it, don't blame me, blame it on the mind, not the heart. So I'm gonna go ahead and claim it right now and start with it. First of all, I think the best way for me to move this is to go by the various different agencies we do have here and people. So what I want to do, first of all, in recognizing our special guests, do we have any from the, well, I saw the infamous, famous, great Commissioner Bill Proctor come in. And he's my dear friend, and since we're dealing with county, I want to go ahead and introduce Commissioner Proctor. He back there messing with that pork. Y'all tell the people he does eat pork. He back in the back getting food, all right? But our great commissioner is here, and I want to thank Commissioner Proctor and the Leon County Commission for being supporters of this event annually. And we also have my dear friend here coming in representing Commissioner Deloge, who could not be here, but he sent his assistant to be here, who left the city and went over and started working with him at the county. Now let me move over to the city. We got several folk here from the city, but as commissioners, I think I see only one commissioner, and I see Commissioner Richardson. Again, I want to thank you for being able to come and join us, Commissioner Richardson. But more importantly, folk, we've had a transition from another person by the name of Anita Favors Thompson, that used to be our city manager, to our new city manager, Rick Fernandez. And he's continuing the tradition, and I want to say thank you. And we're going to have a sit down. We already talked. We're going to have a little meeting. He's a good man. We've already had the introduction of the school board and the school, but I want to acknowledge them again. I see again our school board members, Joy Bowen, school board member Maggie Lewis, school board member Dee Dee Rasmussen here, and let me go and look at this again so I can make sure I don't mispronounce your names. Our other student school board member, Carlton DeSalvo. Thank you, sir. I want to acknowledge those that are here. I also want to acknowledge the Tallahassee Police Department and our chief that's here. I want to acknowledge Leon County Sheriff's Department, I messed that up. Now, don't get mad at me, blue and green. Don't get mad. I just happened to look up and saw the chief, all right? So that was the only reason, because you all are county. I've never forgot my dear friend, Sheriff Larry Campbell used to always say he's the high sheriff. Don't get nothing confused. Don't let anybody get misunderstood. He is the law. But I see we have chief deputy, I think. Is that the right title? Undersheriff, I stand corrected. Because some county they call him chief deputy, others they call him undersheriff. And there's a good friend of mine here, Undersheriff Swearinger. I want to acknowledge others that are here. I saw our past chief and secretary of both the past secretary of the Department of Juvenile Justice and the Department of Corrections, Walt McNeil. I want to acknowledge Walt's presence. I'm looking around. Please work with me now. If I'm missing anybody, I want. Oh, and I got to also acknowledge. You know, I did acknowledge the superintendent, but I got to acknowledge the deputy superintendent too, because he's sitting over there too, for a lot of different reasons. I don't want him to think I slighted him, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledge him. Let me see. Am I missing? Please, like I said. Oh Lord, thank you, ma'am. You know, just this morning. I don't know why I didn't remember that, but just this morning, as I was getting up, late last night, a wagon came around behind my house. When I call it a wagon, I'm talking about those fire wagons. I need to acknowledge and thank you that I almost slipped past that because Chief Gaines was going to get me later. And you know, matter of fact, Rick, I'm going to say this to you right now. We need to rethink putting the fire department chief over in that building, that public safety building. I couldn't find them. I was walking around trying to get them a ticket. They wasted 15 minutes of my time trying to figure out. I went to the station. They said, he ain't in here. You got to go back. And I pulled up in the building. It didn't make no sense. Now, I ain't trying to be critical of you. They can keep the dispatch. Get the fire chief out of there. Put him back downtown at that central station so we can go find him when we need him. But I had to go up in there, and you had to push buttons and everything. I couldn't get in the building. And I got a stent, too, all right? And it made my stent move because I was getting frustrated. So I want to go ahead and just make sure I got that part covered. But I want to honor our fire department because, folk, we do need them. And I saw them out late last night, just like you see the police and the sheriff. They were moving last night to go save somebody and work with somebody down the street from my house. And I want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge Senator Tony Hill, all right, from out of Jacksonville, who's joined us this evening, our former senator from the Jacksonville area. And last but least, I think that, you want to point anywhere else, Angela? Any more pointing? Okay, thank you. Taylor, did I miss anybody? Anybody, hearts and minds, did I miss anybody? Please, bear with me. I didn't mean to and didn't intend to. I ain't forgot that. Because see, your keynote speaker, and I would introduce, I'm gonna do a partial introduction of her. But before I introduce her, because she, for some reason, as a youngster, what she did was, I'm gonna step down. Because I got one other introduction I need to do. If I don't do this, I'm gonna be in trouble. Because the keynote speaker, we were related a little bit. And she went, and for some reason, she took Taekwondo. And I think she did it because I was her big brother, and she was getting an equalizer, because I don't know none of that. But if I don't say and acknowledge to you all somebody else that's very near and dear that's here, that helped me some 60 years ago to be able to be here, I need to acknowledge my mother, Zella Landry, who's also joined us today. And two of my great nieces that they done figured out how to tell them they could legally leave school to be here to hear their aunt. Because they used to call her skipping when I was growing up. And she didn't let me do that. But they were able to get out. But their grandmother said that they have good grades and they're doing good in school. And you see, they didn't do that for me. But I want to go ahead and acknowledge it and just make sure we had that. And on that note, I also want to acknowledge one other person that's coming up next. And I want to say thank you to him. And that's the baddest basketball coach in the ACC, Coach Leonard Hamilton. Florida State Seminole. You got it. And you can go ahead and let him introduce you.
Now to introduce our speaker, the baddest coach in the land. Come on out, Coach. Head coach of FSU basketball, Coach Leonard Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everyone. This is kind of an interesting situation that I've got myself into here to introduce my friend. For somehow or another, we had some miscommunication. She came in and visited with us over the Christmas holidays. She asked me would I introduce her, and I told her just contact my office and give me what I'm supposed to do and wind me up and push me out there. Well, she called me last night, and I didn't know why she was here. Okay, but I'm probably as ill prepared as anyone to introduce a speaker, but I'm probably the most prepared person because I've known Kelly for so long. She's been kind of part of my family. We've shared a lot of Christmas holidays, Thanksgivings. She was a budget manager when I was a head basketball coach at the University of Miami, so I'm not real sure, other than her immediate family, there's anyone here that knows her better than we do, or myself personally. Many days I inherited a basketball program that hadn't been in existence for like 13 or 14 years at the University of Miami, and Kelly helped me through that whole transition. But to say a little bit about her, her accomplishments are so many that it would probably take me a long time to go through all of what she's done. But I also think that the main thing here is that she had an opportunity to benefit in so many ways from the struggles that Martin Luther King represented back in the early mid-'60s. I was fortunate to be coming along during that particular time. But things have not always been easy, it has not always been equal, but I think Kelly, what she's done, she's represented his dream, she's represented his hard work, his ethic. She's represented the fact that there's absolutely two things that Dr. King always wanted people to understand, that nobody should ever outwork you, and that you should always have a moral compass that guided your life. And I think that she's represented that in so many wonderful ways. And when you look at all the accomplishments on the program that she's accomplished, being an All-American athlete in 3 or 4 different sports, and while she lived from Panama City, getting a degree from University of Alabama and participating in sports during the time when sometimes it wasn't always fashionable, and being successful, going at Northeastern University and then going from there to the University of Miami during the time in a transition period, and from there back to the University of Illinois and being an athletic director in a time where you don't have very many African-American female athletic directors in a major Division I school, the University of Wilmington, North Carolina, Wilmington. And from there to Illinois and University of Maryland during the transition period. With the responsibilities she's had, this says a little bit about her taking advantage of the opportunities that Martin Luther King worked so hard to make available to each and everyone. So, but now, the thing I like about her most is her mother makes the best pound cakes you've ever seen. And I guarantee you there's nobody here enjoys pound cakes better than me. Kelly, her mother sent me a pound cake, and I was out on the road recruiting. And do you know when I came back home, none of the pound cake was left? And so now every time her mother gets a chance, she sends me a pound cake. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your gracious hospitality. And I want you to know, I cut the pound cake in pieces, and I have a freezer downstairs. I hid it from my family, and I'm still enjoying the Christmas pound cake today. But now, with further ado, I want to tell you how fortunate we are to have a person of Ms. Mandry's caliber here. She has accomplished so much, and there's absolutely no one in the United States that has taken advantage of the opportunities that Martin Luther King fought so hard for us to have the opportunity to enjoy than Ms. Kelly Mandry. Without further ado, I introduce my friend, my family, my confidant, Ms. Kelly Landry.
Oh, gosh. Good morning, everyone. Well, first and foremost, Coach, thank you so much for coming over and a great win on Wednesday night versus NC State. And if you don't come out and support FSU basketball, I'll just go ahead and say shame on you, because you are very fortunate to have one of the best coaches, not just in the ACC, but in the country, right here on your own campus. So let's hear it for Coach Hamilton. And before I start, I'll say something. Obviously, my brother, he is my older brother. We'll just go ahead and get that out of the way. But he mentioned that I took Taekwondo, but the reason that I took Taekwondo was because of Claudette Hamilton. So when we were at the University of Miami, she was wanted to take their daughter and convinced me at the age of 30-something to start the sport of Taekwondo. But to our credit, both Claudette and I both received our black belts, and so, you know, if my brother bothers me anymore, I was ready for that. But, you know, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. You know, it's a pleasure to be here, and obviously being from Panama City, the North Florida area, and Florida in general, it's like coming home. You know, I'd like to thank Dr. Kathleen Rogers and my brother Dale and the NAACP for, you know, their hard work in putting together such a wonderful event. You know, I don't want us to take for granted the commitment and the passion that their staffs and colleagues have toward young people that drives them continually, I think, on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's with all that hard work that an event like this is truly possible. And although she has been recognized, on a personal note, I'd like to recognize my mom, my 84-year-old mother, who's in the audience, is a former educator. Without her support and encouragement, nothing that I have achieved in my life would have been possible. So thanks, Mama. Now, students, if you can hear me, say, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. But as we sit here this morning, gathered to honor history and to celebrate you, a group of phenomenal students in Leon County, I can say with all certainty that the Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. would be proud. You are young people who have emulated the qualities of Dr. King. You're peacemakers. You're solution-driven. You give back and help others. You're great ambassadors. You are dreamers. You are doers. And actually, you are the dream that Dr. King was talking about so many years ago. You didn't even know him, but he knew you. He knew the things that you could do if given the opportunity. So when he was talking about that dream, he was really talking about you. And so what that really means is that you have a responsibility as young people and an accountability to continue to carry yourself with dignity, with honor, integrity, and high character, and continue to achieve and accomplish great things. So today, I hope you're not satisfied with where you are, because you have the extraordinary ability and opportunity to do so much more. So for our conversation this morning, I'm going to be pretty brief, and I'm going to just ask 3 simple questions. Because I did hear some chatter when I was getting my breakfast that y'all were ready to get back to school, so I won't take a lot of time. My first question, so here are my 3 questions. First, what's your next big dream? Second, are you prepared? And finally, can you handle it? So before I dive into the questions, let me tell you a quick story about fleas. Fleas, yeah, fleas. There's an experiment done. Well, first I'll start by saying, fleas can jump a lot. They can jump pretty high. They can jump, and upwards of, 150 times their weight. They can jump high. They jump about 30,000 times just without stopping. They just have that ability to just keep going, right? You probably think, okay, what's the big deal about that? But they just jump everywhere. But there was an experiment done where you took some fleas and you put them in a jar. And in the jar, they would continually jump out of that jar. But when you put a lid on the jar, the fleas would jump until they hit their heads on the lid, and you could then unscrew the lid, and the fleas would not jump out of the jar because they had become accustomed to how high they could really go. They had a lid placed, and they could only jump so high. When you think about that, have you ever asked yourself, has a lid been placed on me? Have I placed a lid on myself? Because they get tired of banging their heads that they just stop. So now, back to my questions. What's your next big dream? Decide what your next big dream is. So you've accomplished, you're here today, but what's your next big dream? Are you gonna have that lid placed over you, that invisible lid? My mother's dream, I mentioned she was 84, and Coach, when he came up, he talked about the opportunities, that I've had, and as a result of Dr. King. My mother's dream when she was growing up was to be a mathematician or a psychologist, but she was never given that opportunity because of her race and her gender. So she grew up during a time where people just placed individual lids on folks. But Dr. King sacrificed and paid the price, the ultimate price, for each of us to have a dream and then pursue it to the fullest. So what are your goals? What do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to run for governor? You want to be the next president? You want to run for school board? You want to be chief of police? What do you want? What do you want to do? Do you want to create the next Twitter? The next best app? Whatever it is, write it down. And look at it periodically, every day if you have to. Don't give up on that dream because of what others might say. Sometimes your dream is just meant for you, and no one else can understand it. So you surround yourself with people that are going to pour into you so that you can fulfill your dream. My next big dream is to lead an athletics program again. And I'm not going to be blinded by statistics that tell me that there are not a lot that look like me that do that. So I, like you, dream too. Now, there's a chance that you might not know. You might, I have this dream, but I don't know how. I don't know how to get to it. I don't know what to do. Not an excuse. Not knowing how is not an excuse. There are people in this room and people in your community and within your school that can help you. And now that brings me to my second question. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to do what it takes? Dreams by themselves are great, but in order for you to realize them, you must prepare. How hard are you working? Most people fail to properly prepare because they become satisfied with where they are now. When I was your age, students, I was a pretty good student. Elementary, got a lot of S's and O's. In high school, junior high and high school, I had A's and B's. And actually, when I graduated from high school, I had 12 years perfect attendance, believe that or not. That's pretty, back then it was a big deal. I don't know if it's a big deal now, but 12 years, perfect attendance. Again, I did say my mother was an educator, so I had to go to school. I'm sorry, I loved going to school every day. But I thought I had arrived, you know? I was this great athlete. I was doing well academically, had all these accolades. And so I was on to my next dream. I accepted an athletic scholarship to college at the University of Alabama. And then it happened. I was satisfied and became complacent. I was content because of the stuff that was behind me, right? All that good stuff I had just done in high school. I was satisfied. My study habits in high school were not gonna make it in college. My athletics and the things that I was doing in high school was not gonna get me to become that All-American that was a dream of mine, or to make the Olympic team, which was a dream of mine. So I had to step it up a notch. My biggest step toward fulfilling my dream should have been understanding the commitment and investment that I needed to make in order to achieve my dream. And I wasn't doing that. So I had a choice. I had to change my mindset. I had to change my mindset if I really wanted to achieve those dreams and prepare myself. So what did I do? I started honing in on my skills and abilities, studying harder, doing all the things possible so that I could properly prepare. Dr. King prepared himself to handle anything and everything imaginable as he focused on his dream. He prepared himself continually as he focused on his dream for you, his dream for me, and we must do the same. And finally, that last question is, can you handle it? Can you handle it? Can you handle the journey? And I think Dee Dee Rasmussen, I think she said it earlier when she talked about setbacks. Can you handle it? Can you handle success? Can you handle setbacks? Because it's gonna happen, it's life. We're walking down this path of life, and it's gonna happen. Are you gonna hit your head on that lid like the fleas in the jar? How many times have you hit your head on life's situations? Life is tough. You will get knocked down. But the great thing is you build up your strength, you build up your character, and you build up your mind and your heart to withstand those setbacks. Remember, Dr. King did it time and time again. And he said, remember, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. In closing, I'd just like to encourage each of you to keep moving forward to achieve your dreams. There are so many countless opportunities available to you now, and there are so many more to come. God bless you, and thank you for this, and have an extraordinary day.
Well done. Next on our program is a musical selection from Omega Forbes, the father.
Come on and lift this up. All of my young people say, I'm a champion. A little bit louder, say, I'm a champion. I'm an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror, and I win. Come on, put your hands together, everybody. Where the winners at? Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm a champion. I'm an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm a champion. I'm an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm a lender, not a borrower. Champion. Yeah, yeah. Come on and lift it up and say, I win. I win. Oh, I'm a champion. I'm an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm a champion. I'm an overcomer. Yeah, I'm more than a conqueror. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm a lender, not a borrower. Champion. Come on and clap those hands. Yeah, say I win. Come on, look at somebody and tell them, I win. You shall live and not die. I win. Now this is my favorite part. Listen. Oh, come on and lift that up. The victory. Lift your voice and say, I'm victorious. I've got the victory. I win. Now if you've come out on top, lift this up. I'm a survivor. You're looking at a miracle. I'm still standing. Any survivors in the building? Hey. More than a conqueror. More than a conqueror. I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. So much more. So much more. So much more. So much more. Now if you've got the victory, if you're a survivor, come on and clap those hands. You didn't get here by yourself. It was God that kept you and brought you. Lift this up. I win. I win. I win. Lift it up. Lift it up. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endures. To the one that endures. I win. You win. We win. Yeah. I win. I made it. I survived. I win. I win. That's my testimony. I win. Yeah, yeah. Now all the survivors say, I win. Now come on and give God a praise. High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I made it. I'm still here and I win.
Thank you, Omega. Wow, I am truly energized. Next on the program, we'll ask if Dr. Kathleen Rogers will come forward for student recognitions.
Starting with Appalachia Elementary School, Tremaine Hughes and Trinity Tetty. Astoria Park Elementary School, Kaylin Warren and Santana Uzana. Bond Elementary School, Tyler Johnson and Dana Blackshear. Buck Lake Elementary School, Maya Williams and Sierra Stennett. Canopy Oaks Elementary, Ricky Ransom and Harmony Curry. Chairs Elementary, Alani Griffin and Marisa Hutchins. Conley Elementary, Ellen DeJarnett and Catherine Curie. De Soto Elementary, Maddie Hoagland and Bethany Harvey. Fort Braden School, Hodarlin Avalos and Christopher Smith. Gilchrist Elementary, Jill Ali Hercule Espinal and Maya Von Dinkins. Hartsfield Elementary, Kayla Lewis and Devin Iverson. Hawks Rise Elementary, Amari Williams and Kayon Singleton. Kate Sullivan Elementary, Naya Davis and Kendall Sampson. Calern Elementary, Jada Keynes and Israel Williams. Oak Ridge Elementary, Tremaine Wiggins and Zabria Massey. Pineview Elementary, David Johnson and Sakayla Bradshaw. Riley Elementary, Jada Parker and Sawam Patel. Roberts Elementary, Demetrix Stevens and Maisha Billingsley. Rudiger Elementary, Courtney Ford and Denuri Smith. Sable Palm Elementary School, Tyrese Rains and Aubrey Stevens. Sealy Elementary, Nathaniel Jean and Gabriella Cottrell. Springwood Elementary, Micaiah Woodard and Jonah Collins. Woodville Elementary, Jamari Spears Screen and Arzani Solomon. W.T. Moore, Dalen Harry and Terria Brow Hendrickson. Fort Braden Middle, Hordarlin Avalos and Christopher Smith. At this time, may I have the Divisional Director for Secondary Schools, Randy Prajan, please come forward. And now for our middle schools. Cobb Middle School, Alexandra Jean and Shania Story. Dare Lake Middle School, Shakina Durant and Talia Millier. Fairview Middle School, Markel Ogletree and Taylor Hayworth. Griffin Middle School, Kennedy Bonner, and Chowkey Bennett. Munford Middle School, Najla Ustin and Khalil Jihad. Nims Middle School, Deja Evans and Christopher Wooden. Raw Middle School, Niall Bryant and Maya Barber. Swift Creek Middle School, Duke Pernitez and Jaslyn Bird. And now for our high schools. Charles High School, Sienna Williams and Justice Otway. Godby High School, William Ricketts and Tiara Esther. That should be Tiara Easter. Leon High School, Jeremiah Smith and Andrea Dupree. Lincoln High School, Taylor Hall and Jivan Nkasa. Ricketts High School, Jessica Smith and Keandre Hollifield. Sale High School, Adam Rasmussen and Carson Fletcher. Adult and Community Ed, Osiris Hughes and Gabrielle Collin. Gretchen Everhart, Catherine McBride and Tyler Lopez. Lively, Nathan Browning and Alfonso Footman. Pace Secondary, Jenna Brickner and Alexander Davis. Second Chance, Kiara Bird and Xavier Harrison. The Success Academy, Krishna McCrae and Taj Williams. Virtual School, Skylar Hans and Tana McAlpin. AMI Kids, Olajer Rose and Jordan and Jasmine Sullivan. Arts and Sciences. I'm sorry, that was Arts and Sciences. Olea Rose Anjorin and Jasmine Sullivan. Excuse me, kids. FAMU High, Layla Roberts and Brandon Bryant. Florida High, Demi Dedman and David Maldonado. Governor's Charter, Iville Moore and Lainaya Saylor. Tallahassee Schools for Science and Math, Gabrielle Ivesta and Deja Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, please give all of our dreamers and doers a round of applause.
Next is a presentation from Mr. Steve Beasley, Chairman of the MLK Foundation of Florida. Mr. Beasley.
Good morning. Steve Beasley, President of MLK Foundation. We're here to present the Humanitarian Student of the Year, and while they're coming up, this year we are honoring students from Cobb Middle School, Miss Mackenzie Hardy. Will Miss Mackenzie Hardy and our principal please come? And while we're doing that, I want to give a brief shout out to the people that's responsible for me being here, our advisory board. Will they stand? Maggie Butler, Joy Boeing, Tommy Mills, Dimitri Hollinger, Bill Tucker, our board, Bill Tucker. Okay, thank you, board. Y'all vote for me another year. I'm gonna let the principal tell a few things how our honoree got selected.
Good morning, I'm Tanja Fitzgerald, I'm the principal of Cobb Middle School. Just a few things about Mackenzie. This young lady, she's an AB honor roll student at Cobb Middle School. She's a cheerleader and she's one of our theater students. She's an avid volunteer in the community, but one activity this year kind of touched all our hearts. Mackenzie has been volunteering at Gretchen Everhart, and she last night the students came out and they performed at the cheer showcase. She helped to coordinate their cheerleading routine, and she came out and performed with them. So she's done a great thing. She's also writing a play about students with disability and how they're the same as we are. They like to do the same things. So this year we thought that it was very fitting that we award Mackenzie with this honor. Thank you.
Photographers? Will Mr. Commissioner Chairman Bill Proctor please come up, please? Bill is the chairman of the county commissioner. We had a program Wednesday in City Hall, but we have another one that I'd like for him to tell you about.
Good evening. Pop quiz, good morning. To this distinguished head table, to the honorees, their parents, the school board, the illustrious members who join us today, we're very excited to bring to your awareness this morning a event that will occur on Sunday at 5 p.m. at Bethel AME Church. The awarding of the Legacy Award to Bethel AME Church and Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Bethel AME this year turned 150 years young, and Bethel Missionary Baptist Church turned 145 years young. They will receive the Lifetime Legacy Awards from the ICC SELC organization, and we're asking you to please come out to join in the celebration. The male choirs of both churches will sing. The Tallahassee Boys Choir will sing. Sisters, there's going to be a whole lot of men up in there. The Reverend R.B. Holmes will bring the message, and there's going to be a powerful, sure enough good, post-reception for two of the most dynamic churches and their contributions over the last 15 decades. We're going to celebrate with them as our honorees. You're invited. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now for our remarks. Remarks will come from Adoro Obi Nwizi, President of FSC NAACP, Senator Tony Hill, with final remarks from Dale Landry, President of Tallahassee NAACP's chapter. Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, I know we can do better than that. Good morning. Well, first of all, I want to say that and honor your time to the speaker. What a powerful message. Powerful message. I would tell your sister when I see her in church on Sunday. We are a member of the same church in Jacksonville. Dale Landry, let's give him a hand. I mean, the work that he does on behalf of our conference of branches across the breadth and length of this state. President Nwizi is back at the hotel, had a conference call with some of our national folks, because we're on our way to Bluntstown. Somebody say Bluntstown. We're on our way, because injustice to one is an injustice to all. And so we're journeying over there today, and then tonight we're going to be in Panama City to celebrate a memorial of Martin Lee Anderson, 10 years ago, y'all, in the boot camp. And so we're going there, and we're asking for your traveling grace and prayers as we go to uncharted waters to let people know that we have a charge to keep and a God to glorify. So with that, where's the young people? I want them to stand. Are they gone? The young people still here? I want y'all to stand up. I just want to put this in for you. Give them a hand, the young people here. Superintendent, I want to let you know you're doing a great job, because you embody what we say over in Jacksonville and around the state of Florida. You can't be what you can't see. And so by you having these young people here today, I just saw their eyes. I mean, they're going to go to the top, because it's all about exposure. But let me say this to the young people. Stand up again. Stand up, young people. And I want Dale to back me up on this, because I know he retired, so he gets a nice check from the military. But I want to say to you 5 things that you can do, and I guarantee you're going to be successful. And if you don't, I want the parents who are with them to check back with me and Dale, because we're going to put $100 in the bank if they do these 5 things and they're not successful. The first one is trust God. Number 2 is obey your parents, because no one has your best interest than your parents. I saw how some of y'all were dressed. I know you're not working, so I know. Trust your parents. And then number 3, make good grades. Make good grades. And number 4, be stronger than your peer group. There are going to be some people who were not here today that's going to tell you you didn't need to do all that. You don't need to do that, but you heard what the speaker said. Can you handle the success? See, your talent might get you there, but your character is what's going to keep you there. All right? And then the fifth thing, I learned this from Curtis Richardson when I worked with him in the legislature. You got to be ready to outwork your opponent, because everything you do is about competition. Thank you for allowing me to come and share.
In my closing remarks, again, a couple of things I want to just share with everyone. This one is a special, because this will probably be the last time I'll be here as president of the Tallahassee branch of the NAACP, because I will not run again. For a lot of different reasons. But it's not to serve. Now, I'm not out of the NAACP. Don't think that. I'll be with the state level where I'll be working. But I wanted to go ahead and acknowledge here to everyone, it has been a wonderful journey for the last 8 years. I think we've done this. I've been president of the Tallahassee branch of the NAACP. And what had happened, something uniquely happened this year. My mother's youngest grandchild, which is my son, graduated, and he'll leave February the 2nd as a lieutenant in the United States Army heading to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, because he started at Astoria Park, went through, what was your school? Bellevue, and he graduated from Godby. Then he went on to FAMU, where he graduated from FAMU and was commissioned December the 11th. So the nest is empty. And Mama's called me back home to do things that we are going to be doing together. But she did allow me to continue, at least at the state level. And I want to acknowledge to a lot of people here, thank you. Sheriff, city, county. Thank you. Oh, and the Democrat. I got to. No, because the Democrat has done that and helped us, you know, and to be able to do this. So I want to acknowledge to everyone that, because this has been a wonderful journey for 8 years of my life. And it's even more pleasant that my youngest sister could be here, the keynote on my last one, and that my mother could be here, because that's important. As we get ready to go forward, the charge still remains, and as I've often said to you all here, that we have got to take care of our children. As my sister said earlier, and we've hit around on it, my mother's been an educator for all of my life. I'm 60 years old. And when she retired, she continued educating, because she had a young lady that she taught and helped that was had a handicap disability that she continued working with her after she retired, Mr. Superintendent, until she reached the age of 22, where they could not do home or work with her anymore. But to this day, my mother still works with, and Danielle is our younger sister in my family. So I've been with educators, and I've fought for educators, because I watched what my mother went through. And I remember when my mother had 3 jobs. And then and so as I sit here, it's an emotional moment, because I left my younger sister in school when I went in the Army. And I was away when I watched her doing competition for World Games, because I wanted to be there with my sister. I wanted to be there when she was going out for the Olympic trials. And when I finally retired, and I said, I'm coming home, she told me, she says, I'm through in competition. What she didn't say, and I don't think we had it in the book, I was so honored and proud of my baby sister because she did what many of you could do, and I heard her speech. I watched Kelly be from a distance. Big brother wasn't there. But I watched her commitment when she made all-Floridian in track and field, in tennis, and in basketball. I watched her become an All-American in that. I watched her when she got a degree to go on to Alabama from Bear Bryant, and where she was in track and field. And I watched her when she was number 5 in the nation for throwing the discus, because that was her sport, was the discus. And I had the honor of coming here once before, and Coach Hamilton, we got to get this fixed. Kelly still maintains the record for the discus throw out at Mike Long Field at FSU. And I was fortunate to be here when she broke the record, and she set the record there, and it still has not been broke. We just got to go back and get that fixed, Coach, because they got the wrong name up. I share this with you because, you know, one of the things we got to do, and we got to continue, we got to fight for our teachers. You know, I've often shared with you, I've always thought about what, and I've said this a couple of times, and I try to wrap on this note. Oh, and I forgot I got some people I'm supposed to recognize too. And I need to recognize this crew of people that I've had the privilege of working with putting this program together. And it's Dana Ernest, Lynn Givens, Rick Williams, Michael Hightower, Robert Crawford, Al Washington, Connie Harrell, and last but not least, Dr. Kathleen Rogers. Because, you know, we are committed to doing this. And we have been committed for the last 8 years of making this happen. And we get into frustrations where Dr. Rogers, I probably shouldn't say this, but I mean, it's just a thing that we go through, and Dep don't take this, and Soup don't take this out of context, because she quits this every year. She ain't gonna do it no more, and me either. And we always get right back in it because we can't wait to get here to do this, to get these awards to these kids. But there's a lot of the other foolishness we have to put up with, but I want to acknowledge them because they're there, and I get those phone calls. Dana starts on me in October, all right, and we're moving. But I want to acknowledge them and give them, hold them up, and that's the Department of Intervention Services, if I'm correct, under the school district. I want to also acknowledge Curtis Taylor, Gail Rogers, Bill Tucker, Cynthia Seaborn, and Natalie Word from the NAACP. They're here. So I wanted to get those acknowledgments out right as I get ready to close. And I want to thank the head table. Because the reason I asked Imam Mujahid to be here is because if you saw on the cover, our program said, "One nation under God. Journey to justice, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all." Our nation is under attack internally, people. If it ain't the Confederate flag that's dividing us, now we got politicians that are out there talking about our Islamic brothers and sisters, good people, and they're coming up with all kind of foolishness. And they're trying to paint a group of people as being wrong by virtue of their faith. We're one nation under God. And the last I heard, Imam, y'all honored God. You may call him Allah. Because we need to remember something. Something happened at the Tower of Babel, where we all used to talk the same language. And in that, when we talked the same language, we decided we were going to try to build a tower to the heavens to get to God. And God broke that language up. And he gave people different tongues and different words to use. Allah is God. We need to remember the story of Abraham as we start talking about this. Because from Abraham, we take back to the Jewish faith, the Christian faith, and through Ishmael, the Islamic faith. We're one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and freedom for all, and we must fight for that, and NAACP will be fighting for that. But I wanted to share that with you as we get ready to move on, and I want to thank Kelly and the rest of the head table for being here. But I wanted to close on a note, Because, see, when I was a little boy, my nickname was Trouble. And now my mama swears she ain't spanked me. My mama, she broke the law. I tell y'all right now, my mother broke the law. Now, there's a statute of limitation, but she broke the law. I'm going to go ahead and tell it right now because I ain't going to never get a chance to do it again. Because she didn't spare the rod. That's why Kelly stayed in school all her days, because she knew what was coming home if she didn't do it. Because I wasn't in school. I didn't have that kind of record. I have to admit that to you. I had more times. I had a record for not being in school than Kelly had for going. But I share this with you because it was through what I saw with my mother, my grandmother, and the things that the women in my family did, because I hold dear, and I often sit back and pray, and it was always said, my grandmother told me when I was a little boy, that on your last days, when you got to come to judgment, the Lord opens up the book of life. And in the book of life, you're going to have on the one side is going to be the things you did wrong, and on the other side is going to be what you did good. And I had a dream one night, because, you got to understand, I'm going to blame it on being a male. We always try to figure a way out how we're going to get this done. Because on the right-hand side, the book of life of mine, which had all the bad, there were volumes. I mean, they had tabs on it. But on the left-hand side, on that one side, what good you did was one sentence. And I prayed, what could be the one thing that might be my salvation and my saving grace? And I remember the stories that Jesus spoke to. And all Jesus ever said was the one thing he always spoke about, what his Father loved him dearly, were the little ones, the children. So as I sat back looking at what one thing could I put in that little line that may help me make it over that hump, the only thing I won't say is that he tried to help the children, that I dedicated my life to that. Teachers, and administrators, I don't think there's no more glorious job or honorable job to do than to teach children and to help children learn the right way to be what they are. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that's what my charge is for the rest of my life, because that's what my mother did, and I'm following that. God bless, and have a great day.
And that is the program.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today